everyone, so today's video is going to be a sort of MAC starter kit slash MAC recommendations video. So this is mainly going to be for beginners with MAC that want to know what products they should try out from the brand, or people that have tried quite a few things from MAC and want to know some more of my recommendations, because I am going to include a few of my favourite products from MAC in there as well. So I'm going to start off with sort of the products which I recommend if you're just starting off with the brand and you want to know what you should buy or check out. So this is sort of a starter kit, so what products I would recommend you get for sort of every single category. MAC are quite well known for their foundations, but I don't really like many of them at all. I found the Studio Fix just way too cakey for my skin, but one which I do quite like is the MAC Matchmaster foundation, and I would say this is a really good beginner's foundation because it is a sort of medium coverage, but it can be built up to a higher coverage or it can be sheared out to a lower coverage, and it's not really too much of a matte finish, so you can't make it look cakey or anything. It's quite a natural satin finish, so it's always going to work, and I think this would be great for every single skin type. So if you've been in MAC before and you think that MAC Studio Fix is too cakey or too heavy for you, then I definitely recommend checking out this one instead. And for reference, I'm an NC 35 to 37 in MAC, depending on whether it's summer or winter, and this is the shade 4.0. Onto concealers, and I'm not a huge MAC concealer user. I do quite like them, but I just seem to use other brands for concealer. But one which I recommend for blemishes and around the face is the MAC Studio Finish Concealer, and I have the shade NC 35 in this, which is slightly too dark for me, so I would recommend getting a shade lighter than you usually get in your foundation for this concealer. This concealer is great for around the face because it is quite a thick consistency and it has a really good coverage. I wouldn't say it's good for under the eyes because it is quite drying, but for around the face I find it perfectly fine, and I do have quite dehydrated skin. For under the eyes, I don't actually have this concealer with me, but it is one which I keep looking to buy because it's a really great concealer, and it is the MAC Pro Longwear Concealer, which would be a great one to use under the eyes because it's hydrating but still great coverage. Moving on to powder, and I do really like the well-known MAC Mineralize Skin Finish Natural. I have the shade Medium Dark, which is a really great shade for me for all over the face, and I would say this is a great powder. I don't use it all that often because I do have quite dehydrated skin, so I don't find that I really need to powder that much, but if I do need to powder throughout the day or I really want my makeup to last, then I will use this powder. It does give you a slight bit of colour, but not too much. It just sort of evens everything out a little bit more, and it sets your makeup and makes it matte but not completely matte. There is a little bit of a satin finish there, so it looks more natural. So I would definitely recommend this if you have oily skin or combination skin, or just find that you need to powder throughout the day. If you find that you want something to give you more of a glow, then I definitely recommend this powder as an all-over finishing powder, and it is the MAC Mineralize Skin Finish in the shade Lightscapade. And this isn't one of the natural skin finishes, this is one of their more highlightery skin finishes, but I find that this shade works really well all over because it's not too shimmery, it just gives you a slight glow. It's very comparable to the Hourglass Ambient Lighting powders, especially the shade Diffuse Light, I think, because it does have a really nice yellow tone to it, which means that it counteracts any redness in the skin. So when used sparingly, this can look really lovely all over the skin, just to give you a bit of a glow and still set everything in place. Moving on to blusher, and one blusher which I would really recommend picking up that would suit almost any skin tone is the blush in Desert Rose, and this is a really gorgeous dusty rose colour. It's slightly deeper than your normal pink blush, but it does apply quite sheer, so it's not going to look too over the top. This is a shade which you could wear with almost any makeup look. I find that it looks really nice, lightly dusted on the cheeks with a smoky eye, or it can be built up a bit more if you're wearing a bold lipstick, or it can just be worn very lightly if you want a no makeup look. So if you're looking for a MAC blush, I definitely recommend checking out this one. Next, onto contouring powders, and I know not everyone is interested in contouring, but there are quite a lot of people that are interested and would want a nice affordable contour, and although MAC isn't the most affordable, it's much more affordable than the likes of Kevyn Aucoin, which sells the sculpting powder, which a lot of people like. So if you're looking for a cheap alternative to that, then I definitely recommend checking out the MAC blush in Harmony. I would describe this as a light brown colour. It doesn't really have any warmth to it at all, but it is a little bit warmer than the sculpting powder by Kevyn Aucoin, so it does do a good job at sort of warming up your face slightly as well and not looking too dark or harsh. You can't really go overboard with this one because it isn't too dark. You can apply it really lightly for a subtle contour, or you can build up a lot more for more of a defined contour, but I never find it looks too over the top, so it's a great one for beginners who aren't too used to contouring. For highlighter, I would recommend the usual MAC Soft and Gentle highlighter. This is just a really gorgeous warm champagne coloured highlighter, although you do have to be quite sparing with it, I find, because it does have quite a bit of shimmer in it. These are about £22, but they're so huge they'll last you forever. I would say these could easily last you up to 3 years, even if you use it every single day. So all in all, I'd say this was good value for money, and it's a really nice highlighter, which you can also use as a light eyeshadow wash all over the eyes if you want something to brighten them. Onto eyeshadows, and there is such a large selection of eyeshadows from MAC that it could be quite daunting going in there and not really knowing where to start. For beginners or anyone just looking for a simple palette which is very multi-use, then I definitely recommend these 4 shades. This is my sort of neutral MAC quad, and I do get a lot of use out of it, so I do really recommend all of these shades. The first one is Woodwinked, which is a warm bronzy golden colour. And then the next one is Wedge, which is a light brown colour, which is great for the crease or for the eyebrows if you have lighter hair. This one here is Brun, which I use in the crease if I'm doing quite a dark smoky eye, or I use it for my eyebrows quite a lot. And then this final one is Satin Taupe, which is a gorgeous browny, taupey, greyish colour with a slight shimmer in it, which is really pretty on the eyes. You'd get so much use out of these 4 colours alone because they are so universal and you can do so many looks with them. You could use Satin Taupe and Woodwinked all over the lid just for a subtle wash of colour, just to give your eyes a bit of definition if you're in a rush or just want something very simple. Or you could use Wedge in the crease just for a little bit of definition if you want some more shape to your eyes. Brun, as I said, is a really great eyebrow colour which I use a lot, but you can also use it in the crease for smoky eyes. And then you could also use all 4 of them together to create a really nice smoky eye look. So I definitely recommend them, and these are probably the 4 colours which I use the most. Another product I recommend if you wear eyeshadow a lot or if you just want something to even out your lids is one of their paint pots, and this is the shade Groundwork, which is a light brown colour. It's a little bit darker than my skin tone, so it does give me a little bit of colour to the eyes and it still evens everything out. It's also a really great eyeshadow base to use under any eyeshadow colour really, so I definitely recommend this colour. But if you're wanting something a little bit more skin tone, then Painterly is a really great option. Moving on to lips, and I think everyone needs a nude, an everyday shade and a red in their collection, so I have them 3 to show you from MAC. Starting with the nude, and the nude which I recommend the most is MAC Freckletone, and this is just a really universal nude which I think would suit a lot of skin tones, probably not too dark, but anything up to sort of NC40 I think this would really suit. It's a sheer nudish peach colour, which is really nice because you can't really go too overboard with it, and you could also use a lip liner underneath to make it a lot more opaque. It's a lovely one to throw on every day for a wash of colour, or it really complements smoky eyes as well. So I do really recommend this, and I would say it's one which you really need in your collection. Onto the everyday shade, and I think this is a bit of a different everyday shade to what everyone would usually think to go for, but I do think it would suit a lot of people, and it is MAC Sea Sheer, and this is just a really gorgeous reddish peachy colour, but it's quite sheer so it isn't too bright or vibrant for every day. It's a luster finish, which is one of my favourites because they are quite moisturising but they still have a lot of pigmentation and gloss. So I definitely recommend this one because I do think peachier shades suit a lot of people, and it's a great one to wear every day if you don't want anything too dull but nothing too bright either. Onto the red, and a lot of people love Ruby Woo, but I do find that to be too blue toned on my skin tone, so I think it only works on paler people, but this one I think would work on everyone, and it is MAC Russian Red. It still has a slight blue tone to it, which does make your teeth look whiter and your eyes brighter, but it isn't too blue toned that it looks very strange against my skin tone. It's also a little bit deeper than Ruby Woo, which I think makes it suit dark skin tones a lot more, but it still equally suits lighter skin tones as well. It's a matte formula, but I don't find it to be too drying, which is great because that can be a problem with MAC's matte lipstick. It also lasts a really long time on the lips. I can apply it and after eating I can still see it there. It will be a little bit patchy, but if I don't eat then it does last a good 4 hours on the lips before it needs touching up. One product I think you need in your collection if you wear a lot of bold lipsticks, or if you like your lipstick to last a long time, is a lip liner, and I have 2 here. This one is a nude and it's called Subculture, and it's just a really nice light nude colour. It's slightly peach, so it does work with a lot of nude lipsticks. And then the next one is Kiss Me Quick, which is a red colour, and a lot of people go for cherry, but I really like this one because it's a pro longwear lip colour, so it really does last a long time on the lips. So I definitely recommend picking up them 2 lip liners if you like to wear nudes or reds and want them to last a really long time. And the nude lip liner is really great to wear with any bright lip colour to just outline your lips and make sure that they're defined and the lipstick's going to stay on. And then the final product which I would definitely recommend getting if you're starting out with MAC is a MAC 217 brush, and this is probably the most amazing eyeshadow brush I've used because you can use it for so many different things. It's great for applying eyeshadow all over the lids or eyeshadow in the crease, and it's also great for blending, so it's a really great brush, and if you just got one of these you could probably use it for every single step of your eyeshadow look. They are about £17 or £18, so they're not cheap, but I would really recommend them, and I think I'm going to actually pick up another one because of how good they are and how easy they are to use. So that's everything for my MAC starter kit. I do have a few more products which I would add in if you're just wanting to expand your MAC collection and you have quite a few of the products I talked about already. One product which I think is great to move on to if you want to expand your collection or if you want your makeup to last a long time is a primer, and this is the MAC Prep+prime Skin Based Visage, which is their sort of silicone based primer which really smooths out the skin and covers any pores and keeps your makeup on for a long time. This is a great one to use if you want your base to look really flawless and to last a long time on the skin, but if you want something a little bit more radiant, then their Radiant Primer is a great option as well. I don't actually have one at the moment. I did have a sample size of it before, but it ran out, so I don't have one to show you, but it is a really great primer for adding radiance to the skin and also smoothing everything out. It doesn't sort of cover pores and everything as good as this one, but it does give you a nice smooth base for your foundation. And then if you're looking to expand your eyeshadow collection, there are a few eyeshadows which I really love, and this is probably my second most used quad. This shade here as Antiqued, which is a really gorgeous dark brown burnt bronze kind of colour, and I really love it for the autumn and winter. It looks really lovely used in a smoky eye or just applied all over the lid and blended out for a really grunge, simple, messy makeup look. And then this one here is Amber Lights, which is a gorgeous warm golden colour which is really nice applied all over the lid to really brighten your eyes and give you a bit of colour. And then this shade here is Coppering, which is a really gorgeous reddish orange colour with shimmer in it, which is really nice to use in a smoky eye or apply all over the lid with a little bit of a lighter brown in the crease to blend it out. And then finally in this quad is Texture, which works really well with all three of these eyeshadows, so just blend them out and make them look a lot cleaner on the edges. And then I have a few more lipsticks I recommend if you want to broaden your lipstick collection. The first one is the one I'm wearing now, and it is MAC Morange, and this is a really gorgeous true orange colour. It does have a slight bit of red in there to make it a little bit more of a wearable orange, but it's just a really nice one to wear if you want a bright bold lip. Bright oranges are very on trend, so I definitely recommend picking it up for this summer. It's one of their amplified lipsticks, which means it's quite matte, but it's very, very pigmented and not drying at all, which I really love, and amplified is probably my favourite other than the Luster and Cream Sheen finishes. And then similarly, if you're looking for a bright pink lipstick, I'd recommend MAC Girl About Town, and this is a really gorgeous bright pink lipstick which has a blue undertone, but surprisingly it does really suit my skin tone, and I do think it would suit a lot of skin tones. Again, this is an amplified formula, so it's really vibrant and pigmented, and it is matte but not drying at all. So I definitely recommend them two lipsticks if you're looking for some bright bold lipsticks for the summertime. And then moving on to another everyday shade I love. This one's more one which I love for the autumn and winter, and it is MAC Plumful, and this is a really gorgeous sheer plummy colour with a little bit of pink in it, which makes it really wearable, and it's just a really lovely one to wear every day if you want a purple lip but nothing too purple or too vibrant. Again, it's a luster finish like Sea Sheer, which I recommended, which makes it really moisturising and glossy, and it still has a lot of pigmentation but not too much. And then the final lipstick is a dark lip, which is very on trend at the moment and perfect for the autumn and winter. So this is the shade MAC Media, which is a really gorgeous deep red colour. It has a slight berry tone to it but not too much, and I find it really difficult to find a dark red colour which isn't completely berry toned. It's a satin formula, which means that it's still really pigmented but it's a little bit more glossy and less drying, so I do really like this formula, and it's a great way to wear a dark lip because I do find that dark lips that are quite matte can look quite dark and too harsh, so I do really recommend this one. I am going to wrap up there because that is the end of my recommendations, and it is getting dark outside, so it's going to be really bad lighting in a minute. So I hope you enjoyed this video and got some good recommendations out of it, and do leave any questions in the comment section if you want to know any more product recommendations or anything about the products which I've mentioned. I will write everything I mentioned in this video in the down bar so it's easy for you to find the products, and I will also leave all of my links in there as usual. Like this video if you liked it, and do let me know if you'd like to see a dupes video, because I do have quite a few MAC dupes and other brands dupes which I would love to share with you, so let me know if you'd like to see that. And do leave me any questions in the comments section, or tweet me any questions you'd like to know about me or about anything to do with my life or my channel or anything like that, because I am thinking to do a question and answers video at the sort of end of March, middle of March time. So yeah, make sure to give me lots of questions for that, and I will try and answer most of them in the video. So anyway, thanks for watching guys. Like this video if you liked it, and subscribe to see more of my videos, and I'll see you next time. Bye!